Greetings, everybody. My name is Ville Valo from a band called Him from Helsinki, Finland, and at the moment you have the pleasure of enjoying Toasted.nl. Have fun and have more fun, and then the funnest, and then die later.
Here in Amsterdam with Ville Valo. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Good to be back here in sweet Amsterdam.
Playing the Paradiso.
Yes, usually. But the first time we played Amsterdam was the smaller side of Melkweg. But ever since that, it's been Paradiso. You know.
Which one's better?
Paradiso because, it reminds me of Bad Brains. Mm-hmm. I grew up listening to Bad Brains, the Youth Are Getting Restless. Their live album was recorded there. So that's one of the reasons that that's very special to me. And then the fact that it is church. Mm. So it's a very unusual place to play in. And still the acoustics are pretty good and all that. So in Amsterdam, it's a good party town. It was, back in the day when we started touring. It was so crazy.
Yeah. Okay, there's a new album, Screamworks.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's our 7th album. We recorded in Los Angeles with a fellow called Matt Squire being the producer. He's the guy who has produced with The Used and 303 and Death Cab for Cutie. A bit more altsy stuff. And but he was born the same year as me in Linde, 76. So we grew up listening to a lot of similar music, including Bad Brains. And we just got along really, really good. And we had a bunch of songs went in there and wanted to create a mixture of Guns N' Roses, The Cult, Aha, Duran Duran, kind of 80s vibey album. That's my favorite era in music. The album's just been out for a sec, so for like about 3 weeks or something like that. So I don't know. A lot of people like it, and I haven't met anybody who'd hate it. But then again, there's a lot of people who haven't bought it. So I guess that there are people who dislike the album and the band. So we'll see what happens. It's tough times for a rock band. Rock doesn't sell.
You said that this album sounds more straightforward. And where have you been listening to when you were writing the songs?
Usually when working on an album, I don't listen to a lot of music, and neither does the band. It's there's no time. But so I guess more about stuff we have, they're embedded in our brains. All the classic Black Sabbath and Jane's Addictions and all that stuff. But then again, I think that the reason for it being more straightforward is the fact that the album we did before, called Venus Doom, that was very complex in the world of Him. It was, for us, a very progressive, weird, doomy, gloomy, surreal, experimental album. So I guess that it's very natural to do something a bit more direct and straightforward, just forward and in your face and all that. But I don't know. But I think it's a really, really good rock album, and I'm super disappointed if it doesn't do well.
Okay, so what's the best song?
This song called Katherine Wheel. It's one of the songs that I like a song when you start working on a song that sounds good on an acoustic guitar, and it's a very simple song, and then all of a sudden we just get it right with the band, and it took a long time. It's a very simple song and a very short one, but it took us a long time to get it sound. Katherine Wheel, on a level, it's about Catherine of Alexandria, Saint Catherine. Supposedly, they tried to kill her on a breaking wheel, they called it, like tied up on a wheel, and broke all her limbs. But then the wheel broke, and at the end of the day, they beheaded her. And all the religious art with Saint Catherine, she's always carrying a broken wheel with her. So I like the idea of a revolving motion. I like the wheel, because I think that what goes around comes around, and life in itself is kind of repetitious, and I just like the vibe of being tied to a wheel, and the wheel being life in essence, and being love, and being the emotions I can't control, the submissive nature of a relationship, and that's the Katherine Wheel. Okay. For me, so it's kind of a combination of a torture method, which sounds kind of crazy, and then again it's a kind of me serenading lady as a torture method. You know, it's very submissive.
Okay, so how's the Flowers and Sunshine in your life then? Can you live with him now?
Oh, yeah, for the past 10 years. You know, we're glad it's really tough in the world of music, but I've been able to pay my bills since, 2000, something like that. So it's pretty good. But the flowers are withering away if you don't water them. Thinking that emotion should rule, not the intellect. And you know, science doesn't matter. Imagination is what matters. And I'm a daydreamer myself, so that makes me a romantic in the old school way. And it just feels that there's not a lot of space. There's a lot of expectations nowadays. People just want. You know, people just talk about careers and money and, you know, fucking recessions and whatever. And people don't talk enough about flowers and sunshine and the rain and art and colors. So it's continuous struggle, and there's always more songs to write. But I'm really glad that we don't have to have, you know, it would be impossible for us to have a second job and tour. That's what we did for the first couple of years, you know. I was working in my dad's, he has a sex shop in Helsinki, so I was working there part-time. Our bass player, Miguel, was working at the gardening district of whatever, Helsinki, whatever it's called. He was like collecting dog shit. So it was really, really tough at that time because we had to do like we had to be in Amsterdam at the same time as being in Helsinki, and at the same time record an album, and at the same time play the album and work the songs and stuff like that. So I'm glad that we've been able to, you know, sell enough of Hardigram T-shirts to keep us going. I don't know. Music is a funny thing. You never know what's going to be successful the next day. So we're really glad that we've been able to sustain ourselves for such a long time already.
So is that how you see him end then? So as soon as you don't sell any records anymore, you're just gonna quit?
No, I won't quit making music, but you can't tour for free.
Yeah, but there's the Him Rock Band package now.
Yeah, I heard about it, but I haven't played Rock Band. I haven't played Guitar Hero or Rock Band or any of those games. I don't know. And, you know, it's like if you download that thing, we're gonna get a couple of cents off of it. So it's not gonna make us rich. I'm not a big gamer. I grew up with a Commodore 64 and VIC-20. And the really old school Ataris, like the you know, with the two white things, you know, the tennis game and stuff like that. That was my cup of tea. So I'm pretty bad with those games.
Yeah, I heard you don't have an internet connection.
Oh, but nowadays I do. But for a long time I didn't have an email, and I didn't have internet connection back home. I didn't even have a computer, but then I started working on Pro Tools, and then since our record label is based in Burbank, California, in Los Angeles, basically, it's impossible to be in touch without, you know. But like now, I'm traveling without a laptop. I don't want to read my emails. I hate emails. That just makes me nervous. The attention span of people is so short. You know, it's crazy nowadays.
So, what do you think of the internet in general?
Let's say I'd like to see the world without it, because like the amount of information is so vast and it's so unreliable. But you know, books are unreliable too. But usually there's a lot of people who check books out, you know, editors and stuff like that before they go into print. So they usually I trust in books more than you know, let's say your Wikipedias or whatever. That can be, you know, edited fairly easily. The amount of information is just crazy, and I see it myself, and a lot of people see, you know, when you log on to a fucking, you know, whatever the site might be, like a news site. After 45 minutes, you don't know why, but you're on a site like looking for some like non-porn. There's no like reason for it. I think it's a waste of space. You know, it's a waste of you know, it has killed a lot of concentration. It makes me really nervous, and makes a lot of people really ADD. You know. It's better to read one book at a time rather than have like gazillion different things going on.
Your band for 15 years now this year. So how do you look back on it?
The first version of band we probably started in 91 or 92. So it's going to be 20 years next year.
Are you doing anything special to celebrate that for the fans, maybe?
Hopefully split up.
So do you read a lot?
I try to read a bit on tour. You know, the cool thing about being in this band is that there's a lot of fans that give us books to read, and so I got a collection of poems by an unknown guy.
So what's your favorite book then?
No, I don't have one favorite. There's not a book I would go back to. Maybe the Bible, because I've used the Bible as wallpaper in my toilet. So
Okay, but you never read it?
No, I read it every time I take a shit.
Yeah, your dad has a sex shop and he's selling him items like handcuffs and whips.
Yeah.
Can we expect a him dildo soon?
I think Rammstein already did that dildo line thing, and they're not even. It's bullshit. They're not even having sex on that video. My dad has a sex shop. I've got a band. Oh Lord.
Is your dad proud of you?
I don't know. You gotta ask him. I'm proud of him. You know, I'm proud. I'm happy to have a dad such as him. He's a cool guy. So is my mom. I've got a little brother too, and he's really nice and all that. I've got a great family.
Okay, that's good to know. Let's talk a bit about the near future. Do you know any festivals lined up yet?
No, I'm not quite sure what's confirmed.
Pink Pop?
I don't know. But people in Holland, they just hate us.
Why is that?
It seems that it's not really a rock country. It's not. It's funny. You have like there's great bands like Gathering or whatever, you know, and Amsterdam used to be a rock town, but it's not anymore. You know, it hasn't been for years. It's just
But you still sell out Paradiso.
But that's, you know, to be honest with you, you gotta be realistic. That's because a lot of people can travel easily to Amsterdam. It's a great reason for Germans to come over. It's a great reason for English people to come over, just hang out, you know, smoke the weed, do the fucking, you know, the Amsterdam thing, you know. So it's not just Dutch people who would be here. So it's a tough country for rock music. If you're not U2, if you're not huge. So we're trying our best, and you know, it's I like the electronic music scene here, but it's funny, you know, in Amsterdam, for example, you used to have a lot of clubs, rock clubs, just like 6 years ago, and there's none.
So do you still like us then?
Yeah, I love it. You know, it's not about that. It's not about that. But you know, I find it great that we have the opportunity of being here and you know doing everything we do. But it's tough. You can't be really popular everywhere. We're trying our best, and we know that's the reason why we're here. But it's one step at a time, and maybe one day we'll make an album that will be hugely successful over here.